Hi, how are you? I'm laughing because I was just talking to Mr. Curtis. I just got home from school and he was just texting me and I'm LOL. Like normally when I send the LOL emoji, I'm actually not LOLing. I'm just saying I am. I mean, sometimes I am, but this time I really was. He's so funny. Anyway, I still have my jacket on because I'm cold. I went to Bella Gusto and got some chicken, not chicken, Italian wedding soup and saw Miles. You know the hockey player Miles, whose last name I can't remember right now because I'm old and I haven't seen you and my brain is not functioning. I was just going to show you this trick I tried to play in Peyton. I don't know if you saw this one on TikTok. Your toilet smoking. How do I get this in the middle? There you go. I hadn't seen it till one of my former students posted a video of it. And she did it with her fiance and it was really funny. And then I tried to do it with Peyton and he said, that's an old one and it's not funny, Mom. And he called me cringy again. And then he told me I put the toilet paper the wrong way. Oops. So sorry, it's backwards on here. So I have to put it that way. Anyway, I thought it was really funny. And then I ran into Sarah Letcher at Roots yesterday, if any of you know her. Um, and she hadn't heard of it. I'm like, I'm cringy. She's cringy. It's kind of nice. So anyway, that's all. It was fun to be at school today. It brought me some energy, and I'm back at home now. My house is kind of a mess because I've been doing schoolwork and stuff all day. It's okay though. So I just want to go through your rubric, and here's the thing. Like, those of you who had me before, you know that there are missing pieces up here. There's just a lot missing up here, but normally people forgive me. So I'm hoping if you don't know me that you'll forgive me. So sometimes when I put things together, like this rubric, after I get them together, I'm like, yeah, I should have done it this way, or I should have changed that or this way. So if after we go through tonight or today, whenever you listen to this, you're like, you know what, Starkey, you should switch these things around or add this or that. Can you just let me know? So I might like flip some things around because I was going through it with a couple students today, and I'm like, this would make more sense. In my mind, this made sense when I put it together, but sometimes I tweak things. Actually, I always tweak things. So anyway, let me run through it. I added a couple things um, to the description that you already have, but I just want to make sure that I highlight them. So, okay, so your slideshow should have all of these components in them, and more slides is better. Like less words on a slide is better. You're not going to get a better grade because you have more slides, but having just a ton of content because you want to try to get everything in it is just not the way to do a great presentation. So I might show you one of Sarah Letcher's presentations if I haven't already. I know I haven't for your class, but I've shown them to you in POV if you're going to keep with me. Okay, so at the beginning of your presentation, we're either going to do them by yourself or in small groups. Again, I haven't figured that out yet, but I am figuring out today, so that's good. You're going to give an introduction to yourself. What do you love about virtual learning? The first thing you're going to do back when we're back at school, we figure out how we're going to do school, and just do a little introduction. You can include a picture of yourself if you want to, and then the company or the person that you're going to market for this campaign. And that's going to be a slide or two. Then you're going to introduce your brand. So if you have an existing brand, like let's just say you're rebranding Coca-Cola, then you need all of this stuff. So that's kind of confusing. I just added this today. So introduction to your existing brand. So if you are rebranding something that exists already, tell us what's going on with them. What's their brand? What's their product mix? What's their logo? What are they doing right now? So that's 2 to 4 slides. And then the name of your campaign. So what are you doing to rebrand them? So this might make sense here, or you can actually have it up here if you want to. But then you're going to do your product description. I would say this should be at a separate slide. It's in this criteria, but at a separate slide. If you're not rebranding, just no need to include like all of this stuff up here. You could just include the name of your campaign and your product description. Keep in mind that your product description words are also probably going to be in your brand identity and your SEO. So there's some redundancy, and in a real presentation, you wouldn't include SEO and you wouldn't include the brainstorming and stuff like that, but for this week you will. Okay, then you can go right into your target market persona. The ones that I've looked at, you guys look pretty good on those, or I gave you some feedback. Secondary market persona. Some of you are doing like the 6x6 and then a paragraph on a separate slide. That's totally fine. And some of you are just doing a paragraph. It doesn't really matter. The examples show the bullets and then the paragraph. So whatever one is fine. Then you're going to have your mood boarded brainstorming. So Yeah, this might be just a shareable link. Just make sure it's shareable so I can look at it. I know some of you are using Pinterest, so if you want to just paste pictures of your Pinterest into a doc and put your doc here, it's prettier if you hyperlink it, make it like 24 to 40 font, and then name it brainstorming or mood board. That's kind of cool. It would look nicer. So, okay, then your brand identity. So, what are the qualities of your brand that you want people to know about? So, this might go back to your description, but what I used as an example today when I was talking with a student is like, what do you think of when you walk into um, McDonald's? Like, I think red, greasy, I don't like the smell, cheap, but really good French fries, um, historical, golden arches. So those are like the personality of my brand. The voice of my brand would be like the words that describe it. So, what does McDonald's want their voice to say? Um, I'm loving it. Um, they want it to be fast, inexpensive, family friendly, efficient. That's their brand voice. My brand voice for them is different, but if I were marketing for McDonald's, that's what I would want it to say. And then qualities and benefits of your brand. Here's what I was talking about before. Sometimes when I read a magazine, I start in the middle or at the end and work backwards. So when I introduce things to you, sometimes I do the same thing. There's missing pieces. It could be because my mom drank when she was pregnant with me, but she denies that. That's kind of a joke. For those of you who've had me before, and you know I say that one. My mom Lou, she would not be happy knowing that I say that about her. She didn't, I'm sure. So qualities and benefits of your brand, what's great about it. So these might, like I said, be part of your description as well. Okay, then down to SEO. So SEO, if you're still stuck on this one, can you just email me? And I would rather just have a conversation with you because this video is going to be really long. What are some words that people are going to search for, and then they're going to find your brand hopefully in the top 5, or at least the first page when they Google you. So it's things like if you are McDonald's, you would put French fries, fast food, um, speedy, hamburgers, cheeseburgers, chicken nuggets, all those kinds of words. If you were Old Navy, you would put jeans, inexpensive jeans, family friendly, children's clothing, men's clothing, women's clothing. Um, what did Peggy say? Near us, located near us, or nearby, near me, all of those sorts of things. And for all of these things, you need your sources because I don't want you just coming up with ideas out of your head. I want you to actually do the research. So if so far you've watched all the screencasts and you've read all the articles I've shared with you and you've watched the videos I've shared with you, then you're totally fine. You have all those resources. But if you're kind of skimping by, you might miss some of this. So I want a justification. To be honest with you, TBH, there's always like a fourth of the students in a class who just don't nail design. They don't understand marketing. It doesn't come naturally to them, and that's totally fine. That's why it's really important to use resources. For those of you who nail it, you get it, you're rocking it, you don't even know that. Like I will know that, not that I'm a marketing wizard, but I've been doing this a long time. And so using resources will help you to be like, oh, am I off caliber or on caliber? And if you're off caliber, when I see your stuff on Thursday, you got a lot of work to do before next week, Tuesday, when it's due. Okay, then your color palette, there was kind of a cool example on the soccer um, slideshow that I showed you at the beginning of this project. So again, justification for your choices, like why did you choose um, the colors that you did? And everything should look in sync. Everything should kind of look as one. And look at your competitors to see what they're doing. I noticed today when I was looking on Fabletics Instagram that not all their posts look the same, but you could tell that they had a certain kind of message that they were trying to send. Okay, then your logo, your design or redesign, include the old one and the new one if you have an old one, and then any iterations that you have. This could also be a link to your mood board or your brainstorming if you have like a whole separate doc for logos, and then talk about the sources you used for those just in your speaker notes. Okay, sorry, getting really long here. Your print ad, explain your ad layout, where you're going to put it, like what kind of magazine, what kind of publication, or the name of the website you're going to put it. The print ad is kind of a basis for all of your social media posts. It's kind of like, here's what I want it to look like. And And then your social media posts can kind of follow suit. So you have kind of a flavor among your campaign. And really, it should kind of tie back to your name of your campaign. So the name of your campaign could be like McDonald's is I'm loving it. It's not a campaign, that's their slogan. Coke is like Share a Coke was one of their campaigns. Pepsi had Pepsi Generation one time when they did it. And you can go back to the marketing campaigns link that you saw way at the beginning of this unit and look at what they used for their campaign. Okay, then your social media posts. So you're just going to do three, and it doesn't really matter where you post them, but you are going to want to make a difference if you are posting on Insta versus Twitter versus Facebook. And Canva has a template for most of these, and then there's just a ton of resources in your lesson plans on how to write posts for these. So if you haven't looked at those, you really need to. You can't just throw this stuff together, otherwise you're not going to do very well on it. So sources are really important for this, and I posted some really great sources when we talked about social media. I think it was like Thursday, Friday. So post two, post three, and again, they can be similar to each other, just different platforms, and explain why. Then it's optional for you to have a social media influencer. Is there somebody who is a YouTuber or somebody who is in fashion who is going to be an influencer? I don't know if you guys know, I don't know if I talked about this or not. Jaisal Patel graduated last year. His sister Kasari worked with one of my former students. She kind of had mentored her while she was at Lululemon. I know they both live in Chicago, and she is an influencer now for DIY. And her name is Kasari Patel. You can try to follow her. So she became an influencer. That's kind of cool. Um, yeah. Okay. So you can choose to do that if you want to. And then your press release doesn't need to be super long. I'm not overly concerned about your press release. Just know how to do it, know what it is. Your terminology. So you're going to look at that terminology build, make sure you're using that. Highlight them in your speaker notes, please. Highlight them in your speaker notes. Highlight them in your slides or your speaker notes so I know that you've used at least 20 of the terms and you're going to be so marketing-ish. Then you're going to summarize. Today I talked about da-da-da-da-da. Unless my little cursor here. And then I'm going to ask you some questions, or the people in your group are going to ask you some questions. Then I'm going to ask you to reflect, like, what was your aha moment? What did you learn? And then overall impression. So this is a big summative. I love, love, love this project. So I'm hoping you're having fun with it and learning a ton while you're doing it. And feel free to reach out. I'm happy to do a Zoom with you or just a phone call. I did a few of those today, and that was super helpful for me and for them because sometimes I think I'm clear and sometimes I'm not. So anyway, that's all. I know that's long, but you have 2 work days now, Wednesday and Thursday, to work on this, and your project is due next week, Tuesday, May 26th at 11:59. So actually 3 work days. Might do one more screencast just to give some clarification and show you some examples, but that is it. Okay? Have a great night. See you soon.